They placed explosives on the gate to test its durability. With a tremendous explosion, the gate remained completely undamaged. Not only that, inside, it is also outfitted with the world's top defensive materials. Even a nuclear bomb cannot destroy it. It also contains various supplies that can sustain life for 100 years. Once someone trespasses, the defense system is activated. It will immediately lock them up in an iron cage. The next second, they will be forcefully expelled outside with a powerful suction. Moreover, this safe house is also equipped with a beautiful assassin. The young man immediately rented the entire safe house for $10 million. It turns out he is a reincarnate. In his previous life, an icebound apocalypse struck and the global temperature plummeted by 500 degrees Celsius. People outside were instantly frozen into ice sculptures. Survivors fought fiercely over supplies. Every day, the young man risked his life to gather twigs to start fires for warmth for his family. But one day, he discovered that his younger brother had secretly eaten all the family's provisions. The young man originally intended to confront his brother. Unexpectedly, his brother picked up a baseball bat and knocked him unconscious. Afterwards, his brother falsely accused him of consuming all the provisions. Surprisingly, their parents and two sisters believed his brother's lie, so they pushed the young man out the door, leaving him to freeze to death. Perhaps fate took pity on him, and he was reincarnated to 3 days before the apocalypse. In this life, he no longer held back. He severed ties with his family. When he stepped out of the house, he found himself penniless. He had no funds whatsoever to purchase the supplies needed for the apocalypse. At that moment, he thought of his friend. He instructed his friend to bring the property deed and car registration to the bank, and to use all these assets as collateral for cash, in preparation for the apocalypse 3 days later. Upon hearing this, his friend was instantly dumbfounded, because his house was meant for his wedding. To convince his friend of the authenticity of the apocalypse, the young man said that in 5 seconds, a passenger plane would crash due to weather conditions. His friend thought he was crazy and talking nonsense, but in the very next second, major news outlets began reporting a plane crash. Immediately, his friend believed that the young man possessed the ability to foresee the future. Then, they went to the bank and took out a loan of $100 million. Now, there were only 2 days left until the apocalypse. They found an apocalypse-safe house. The door of the house had multiple layers of password protection that even explosives couldn't breach. Furthermore, the safe house was constructed with military-grade alloys and specially formulated concrete, capable of withstanding shockwaves and nuclear radiation. Inside, it was equipped with all the necessary amenities for daily life, making it possible to live there for 100 years without issue. Since the seller was preparing to move to the United States, he rented it to the young man for $10 million a year. The young man noticed that the seller's female secretary was both beautiful and exceptionally capable in combat. He then paid an extra $5 million per year to keep the female secretary on board to protect them. Afterwards, they went to the supermarket and frantically hoarded supplies. They spent $20 million to buy everything, but they soon discovered that such a large amount of supplies was extremely inconvenient to store. The young man accidentally bumped into a cardboard box. His watch immediately emitted a white light. The supply suddenly vanished into thin air the next second. He immediately realized that something was wrong with his watch. Instantly, the young man found himself in a mysterious, otherworldly space. He discovered that this space could store endless supplies. So, with a wave of his hand, he stored all the supplies inside. Next, they went to a warehouse and stored all the supplies in the warehouse into the mysterious space. As the apocalypse neared, with only 12 hours remaining, the young man's family suddenly arrived. Turns out it was because his brother had been badmouthing him behind his back. They intended to teach him a lesson. Recalling past affections, the young man warned them that the apocalypse was imminent, but they did not believe his words, and even attempted to forcibly take him back home. At that moment, the female secretary arrived and drove the entire family away. With only 4 hours remaining until the apocalypse, the young man and his friend decided to post the news online. After receiving the news, everyone thought he was crazy. Even meteorologists considered the apocalypse to be absurd. But before long, the sky suddenly dropped in temperature and hail began to fall.